Yo, what's up everybody? Enigma's here, and today we're going to do a brief review of The Elder Scrolls Legend Closed Beta! That's right, it's pretty dope. So we'll try to keep this pretty brief, try to get all the points covered, so let's start with the quest system apparently. So in this game there are a bunch of modes, and every day you get a quest. It tells you to do something, like this one in particular says, win 3 games with intelligence, and if I do I get 40 gold. And it says you can complete these quests in any of the modes. So when you come into the screen, you immediately see your profile here, which is pretty cool. You know, it's like most card games with online attributes that have various tracker systems, so you can brag with all your friends, or cry at the fact that you've gone on a 3-game losing streak and you can't find justice in this world. I don't know. And then you have store, where you can buy packs and tickets. You have your collection, which is as all card games. This is what you have. These are the decks you have, which you unlock decks by completing the story, as well as you can craft your own. So basic overview. Graphics, pretty good. I mean, I really like this title screen. I really like the cinematics. They're sort of... they sort of remind me of old school, maybe MMOs, where you just have sort of like still screens with occasional movement. Kind of like Guild Wars 2 a lot, where you have like just these images that pop up, and then there's the dramatic narration that lets you know the world is ending. But this is pretty cool. The graphics here. So I mean, pretty nice, pretty high quality. Lets you know how you are. Don't look at that win-loss. I had a rough streak last night. Okay. Today, I mean, is it? This is morning, right? Yes, this is morning. Sorry, briefly confused. And then you know, where if you have card packs, you can unlock them. But as you can see, the background is pretty cool. And the board looks nice, the cinematics look nice, the transitions are really smooth, and then look at this ongoing effect. Like, that took some serious work. Like, that's probably like a feathered mask with some effects applied to it, set on a loop, like a stroke pattern maybe. And After Effects, you know, don't really know. We don't need to get into that. Anyway, graphics, great. Cinematics are cool. So let's talk about different modes. There's story, which whenever you first open this game, that's all you can do. Play the story. Complete Act 1, you unlock these 2. Then you complete Act 2, you unlock the solo arena. You complete the solo arena and you unlock versus arena. So the story cinematics are pretty good. Well, when I say pretty good, I mean for a card game, I guess they're alright. The downside to the story is that it doesn't really have any gumption to it. It doesn't really have any oomph. There's nothing that really makes me curious. Like, when I play this game, I just want to play the card games. Like, the story so far hasn't really meant much to me. Now, that could be a user bias coming from an Elder Scrolls background, where I'm expecting something more substantial, whereas this is a card game. I mean, in terms of like a card game story, it kind of reminds me of like the Yu-Gi-Oh! Console games or DS games or whatever, where, you know, you have this little story and someone gets captured and you're trying to win the tournament to save the world and all mankind. Something crazy like that. This isn't quite like that, but I mean, it's the same idea. So, when you start, you get to pick your race and class. So, I wanted to be like a rogue. So, where's High Elf? Wood Elf. Yeah, so the only rogue here... Oh, I guess she's kind of roguey too. Anyway, at the time I thought she was the only rogue, so I picked her. But as you can see, based on the class that you pick, you get different card types. So with a Wood Elf, you get cards that prey on weakened foes. With a Red Guard, you more quickly collect weapons cards, which is great, because I've noticed that Red Guards seem to have a lot of cards that are predicated on you having weapons equipped to them to get stupid bonuses. So graphics good, story lackluster. I mean, it's not bad by any means. It kind of, the cinematics are good, but, you know, nothing too stellar. So card types, let's go to that next. As you can see, you have strength, intelligence, willpower, agility, endurance, dual attribute, and neutral. This is what you, whenever you build a deck, you can only use 2 attributes, and you can pick any 2 attributes that you want and build your deck around that. But whenever you pick 2 attributes, you can only pull cards from those 2 pools, unless it's like a dual attribute, in which case, you know, they're kind of like wild cards. They could fit into any deck. So like this card right here, Sentinel Battle Mace, it gets ward and +4 attack, excuse me. For some reason I always think up when I film videos. So what ward means is that the first time it takes damage, it doesn't do jack shit. So you could just go face on the opponent with an extra 4 attack, and then he or she would have to deal with it, but they'd have to deal with it twice, because likely if anything has +4 attack, you know, whatever attacks is just gonna die. Whatever attacks the creature with this battle mace equipped is just gonna die. So it's really dope. And then neutral, they can go in any deck. So you have 2 factions that you have to pick, and you can add neutrals to that. 2 attributes, sorry, to that. Pretty good stuff. So, let's go back to that. Card types, I really like, they did a lot of work trying to capture sort of the Elder Scrolls mythos, the Elder Scrolls heritage, I guess you will, and making these cards unique. I mean, like, all of these cards, I feel like even though I'm playing a card game, I'm sort of basically playing I feel like I'm in Skyrim and I'm playing Gwent. Like, I'm taking my Dark Elf Vampire Lord, just strolling into the club like P. Diddy and the Bannered Mare, be like, yo, what's up? Let's play Gwent. You're gonna give me all your money. You know what I'm talking about? You know what I'm saying? That's kind of what I feel like. So I like it. They've done a lot of work to really draw out the sort of the racial benefits that each race has in the Elder Scrolls series, as well as making the cards diverse, making them unique, and making them really fun. I mean, there's a lot of strategies. I feel like there's a lot of depth that you could go into in this game, building strategy-wise with the 2 attributes system and whatnot. So, I'm digging it there. So graphics good, story kind of lackluster, but really not bad, on par with traditional card game stories like Yu-Gi-Oh! Card types / deck building, pretty good, pretty interesting, and really does the fans a service of making all the cards in the mechanics feel Elder Scrolls-like. So, what about different game modes? Does this game have enough variety to be interesting for a long time? Well, I don't know how long the story quest is, but it's several acts, and there's usually like 4, 5... Oh, okay, I lied. I do know how long the story quest is. It's 3 acts, 20 chapters. And there's usually like 5 or 6... No. There's usually like... Sorry about that. There's usually 5 or 6 chapters, if you will, per act. So it won't take you very long to get through, but it teaches you, does a good job of teaching you the mechanics. One thing I don't like is how it very slowly builds. So like Act 1 is almost all you deal with one simple element of the game at a time, and you kind of build on it from there. What I would prefer is maybe have like 2 or 3 elements at once to sort of expedite that whole process as well as not be overwhelmed, because there are quite a bunch of different mechanics with the game, but we'll get to game mechanics in a minute. So back to game modes. Will it last a while? Story mode probably won't take you very long. Versus battle, though, if we go back to our profile, you have a season rank. I don't know if 12 will be the permanent low for when this game launches, but you start at rank 12, and the goal was to try to get all the way down to, I believe, rank 0. And every time you get to a milestone, which tells you here, then you get this reward. You can potentially get 3 copies of this card, which is the max you can have. Actually, I don't think it is, if you get down to rank 0. So PvP, or ranked matches, is probably where the majority of your time will be spent, if you're that kind of person. And doing daily quests, probably. So that creates longevity, plus it's just interesting going against different decks, seeing what different people are doing, you know, really challenging your might. Like, is my deck good, or does it suck? Well, try it out in a ranked match, and you'll find out. But for me, the real clincher for Elder Scrolls Legends is the solo arena. So what you do is you fight for the glory in the Imperial Arena, find and defeat as many opponents as you can before being defeated 3 times. So, if you've played Duelist, this is like Gauntlet, except instead of going against other players, you're going against the computer. So what that means is, you get like a selection of 3 cards that come up. You can only pick one of those 3 cards. And then the next round you get 3 more cards, you pick one, and that goes on until you build your deck. So it helps create some variety. You can never really be too sure, but the cool mechanic... excuse me, sorry. The cool thing about the arena is for every game that you win, you get to add another card to your deck. And a lot of times, these cards are cool, they do all sorts of interesting things, and by the end, you're really feeling powerful because you've just got all these different options, and everybody else has like this normal standard deck because the computer doesn't gain more cards because it only plays you. But yeah, and it also reminds me of like the Mega Man X games that I played and so loved as a child. Because there's like 8 enemies, and you have to defeat the enemies in order to advance to the boss. And when you advance to the boss, you beat that and then you win. Which, as you can see here, every time you win, you get a rank. And the more you play, the higher your rank is. And there's levels there's levels, so every time you complete a story quest, every time you complete a versus battle, every time you complete an arena match, you get experience points. If you complete quests, you get gold, and whatnot. So, that's how you do this. And every time you level up, you get some gold. You usually get to upgrade a card, which is really cool. And there's other various rewards. So yeah, game modes, does this have longevity? If you like ranked play, if you like the arena types format, then yeah, I think you'll have a lot of fun building various combos and testing your might, because when I played this was very challenging. Like, I probably spent 2 or 3 hours just trying to clear my way through the 8 bosses, or the 8 guardians to get to the boss. And it was very tough. Like, there were several games where I barely made it out by the skin of my teeth, and I felt like I had a pretty strong deck. Now, I might not be the smartest player, but I'm definitely not the dumbest. So, I think this will really test your mettle and really make the game more interesting for you. And if you're feeling really brave, really strong, and really too big for your britches, you can go to the Versus Arena, which is the same thing as solo, but instead of playing 8 NPCs, you're playing 8 players and trying to reach the top. So Versus Arena is more like Gauntlet and Duelist, which could be super awesome. And if you lose 3 times in the arena, then you're kicked out, and you get rewards based on how many wins you get. So, in that regards, I think there is some longevity. So, mechanics-wise, the game does have some interesting and unique elements. Let's just play this. So, you have special conditions sometimes. Your opponent begins the battle with both the occultists in each lane. Alright, cool. So here's the cinematic leading up to the battle. Then you play. And for the actual game, whenever this loads up, see, look at this. This screen is beautiful. Nice little tokens. Now you're probably immediately thinking, man, this looks just like Hearthstone. Well, it definitely has some influence from Hearthstone, but it's a lot different at the same time. I don't want these guys bolting after me, that's kind of rude.
You're too late. By now the sorceress is leagues from here.
By the Queen of Shadows. By the Queen of Shadows.
They will bow to the Prince of Plots.
Well, that's rude. So, sorry. So, it does look a lot like Hearthstone. You have 30 health, you have this little token thing, a lot like Hearthstone. But where it gets interesting is you have different lanes, as indicated by this bisecting line here. This lane is a shadow lane, which means that whenever you play a creature over here, it can't be attacked until your next turn. So that's a good way to sort of sneak out effect cards that you want to do something with, but they will probably die if an opponent plays something. You have Magica over here, which is how you play your cards. The cost is listed here. You have 30 health and 5 runes. Now, every 5 damage you take, you lose 1 rune. And when you lose a rune, you draw a card. And you gotta believe in the heart of the cards to hope that you...
Halt in the name of the Jarl.
Hope that you get a,
On your guard!
Oh, well, that's rude. I hope that you get a prophecy card. If you get a prophecy
By the
card...
Queen of Shadows.
Foolish mortal.
When you drew a card, would you not get a prophecy card? What? Am I playing my barbarian deck for this? Oops, that was my personal deck that I made. But anyway, if you get a prophecy card, which none of these have prophecy, then that means if you draw a prophecy card as a result of this rune breaking, that means you get to play it for free. It could be anything from like an action, which is kind of like spell cards in other games. It could be a support, which, as the name indicates, maybe buffs all your enemies, maybe allows you just to do 1 damage to the opponent a limited number of times, or, you know, various other things. And when you're playing other characters, they usually have an elixir of mana over here if you're second, which means you can drink one to gain a temporary +1 boost to your magicka.
Their deaths will bring glory
shall
to
be
the
so.
Empire.
I probably should have played this now that I think about it, but well. Temporary boost to
By the
magicka
Queen
to
of
let you
Shadows.
try doing other things.
By the Queen of Shadows.
Foolish mortal.
If you draw a prophecy
Oh,
card
we
when
got
you
a
lose
prophecy
room,
card.
you may
So now we gotta do
There
this.
is plenty
Boom!
for all.
So that's a prophecy
Will
card.
bow to the prince
Draw
of
it, and it has
Plants.
some cool effects.
Their blood will please Boethia.
Jeez. So yeah, the game just continues like this. You keep playing cards. Guard. Cards have different effects. Like guard means that you have to attack this creature before you attack other things or the player's HP. You got lots of other effects. Like charge means you can attack the second it's played. Others have summon effects, which you do stuff the second you summon it.
Bondar curse you!
I'm gonna do this.
It shall be so.
Kill that.
By Hercene.
Now,
Just deal some damage. Using pretty interesting effects. And it's like a traditional card game. You see here, it tells you what your opponent's attributes are. You've got strength and intelligence, and this deck is strength and willpower. So, mechanics like Hearthstone, but different enough, and with enough Elder Scrolls flair to it to make it feel interesting, unique, and different. Well, unique kind of implies different. So anyway, overall, so far for this beta, I definitely give it at least an 8.5 out of 10, if not more. I just haven't played it a whole terrible lot to... And plus this is beta, so you know how much can you truly judge a game by the beta? But what I've played so far, it's really cool, really fun, lots of different cards effects, lots of different ways you could possibly build decks, and it feels very Elder Scrolls-ish, which I adore. Oh, well that's rude. It's gonna just blow up my creatures.
By the Queen of Shadows.
Foolish mortal.
Alright, that's fine, that's fine. So, yeah. I think it's pretty cool game, and, like I said, 8.5 if not more out of 10. I look forward to seeing you guys play this game. You know, let me know what you think. I definitely look forward to seeing where this game goes during launch, and how it continues to progress throughout the beta. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and we will see you next time, possibly for more Duelist or Elder Scrolls Legends. So, yeah, kind of stumbling over my ending here, like, oh, blah, 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 don't even know what I'm saying, That's what happens when you don't script things, you know? You don't have perfect endings all the time. But anyway, let me know what you thought of this review, let me know are you in the Elder Scrolls Legends, let me know what you thought about it, and I look forward to seeing what this game blossoms into, as I've already said, but, you know, third time's a charm, right? Have a great day, or night, or evening, wherever you are, have a great time of it. Later.